Hello friends, my name is RagePanda1 and today we are going to go over marriage in the new update on Bloodline, Heroes of Lithas. Now step number 1, you need to make sure that your character is not locked. I always lock my characters that I want to upgrade, and then when I want to go marry a trait onto them, I can't. So in the top right corner, you can see the lock that's very subtle. It is currently locked. I hit it again. Now it is unlocked. The next step is to find a person that you want to marry traits from. You need to keep in mind that this person will no longer exist after you do this marriage. I want to try to match up certain traits so that it increases the odds that I will get the trait that I'm trying to swap to. So, since my Lionstone has Honorable, and this character has Honorable, then I am increasing my chances that I will get Energetic, which is the one that I'm hoping to get. I can take that as far as I want and match every trait on the characters except for the one that I am switching to, and then I will guarantee getting the trait that I'm looking for. I'm not willing to go through all that effort and expend the wedding rings for this current trade, so we're not going to bother with that. However, since I'm not bothering with that and there is a bit of chance, I am still picking a character where I'm happy to get loyal, I'm happy to get agile, I will be less happy to get fierce, but it's fine. So that's how I know that I have a good character, because if I'm gambling, I'm happy with the gamble with most of the results. So since I have this guy selected, I'm going to level him up to, I don't know, level 5. Something that indicates to me that this is the person that I have selected, because on their screens it can be a little difficult to figure out which version of the same copy of Dude you are trying to pick. Also, when you are selecting a trait that you are trying to send over to your other person, I always recommend doing it for Mythic only. You can do it for lower levels, but it's a little bit of a waste of wedding rings. Maybe you need that extra power to get over a hump. It's your account. You play it how you want to play it, but I recommend only doing it with Mythic, and you want to make sure that the trait is at least level 18. We've selected both characters that we want to use for this marriage, so we want to head into the Royal Hall. And if you're familiar with marriage at all, you'll know that this screen is a little bit different now. We will first find our character that we want to keep, and we are going to make sure that the one that we want to keep is on the left. Their spouse has to be the opposite gender. That is something to keep in mind. But you can see that I have so many male Travains here, it's impossible for me to tell which one is actually the one that I want to use. But since I leveled him up to level 5, I instantly know that that's the guy that I was looking at. So that just makes your job a little bit easier when you do it that way. I do have a great bonus tip for you at the end of the video. It'll be something of a clarification for those who have been in the Facebook group. There's been a lot of discussion around this topic, so stay tuned. Then, before we do our marriage, it's going to show us at the top of the screen now the changes that we're going to receive from our Vigor, which is awesome. For this character, since I actually want to use them as one of my main characters, I'm going to trade Noble off of them. Now, if you're not going to use a character all the time, you should keep Noble and put him in your districts. But I need this character to be as good as she can be, so Noble is going away. You can see on our spouse that Honorable is actually crossed out right now. And that's because we have Honorable already and we cannot get it again. So that's an example of how you can narrow down the field and get more precise with what you're going to receive. The only thing that's left to do from here is to go ahead and hit the marry button. And you want to make sure on this screen, it's very easy to just click through and ignore the screen. Make sure that you're looking at the character that you want to keep in this image. Because if you accidentally delete the one you wanted to keep, you are going to be so upset with yourself. Don't be the victim of that. I'm sure plenty of people have done it. And away we go.
We must all stand together. For Novaria!
So now you can see our Vigor leveling up. I actually went up to Vigor level 3, which was a surprise to me. That must be because they were mythic. And it shows you each of the individual stats, which are Constitution, Strength, and Fortitude that we got some gains to. Back in our Champions menu, I have selected this character again. You can see that we got Energetic, which is exactly what we were hoping for. That's a great thing. We also can see in the middle of the screen that it is showing us our Vigor level, which we can click on to see the actual numbers of stats that have been changed. So that's fairly easy to use, but some people are going to be very disappointed here because before this patch was coming out, I specifically did a marriage for testing purposes, and I made sure that I would be able to prove it by having an extra clan trait on my character. However, you will notice that there is no Vigor in the middle of the screen. And I don't know if all of the hybrids have been released. That information isn't currently available. We're just going to have to test and see what comes up. But she did not become a hybrid either. So a lot of people might be a little disappointed about that, and I don't know if they're going to do that retroactively, or maybe if I marry her again, it'll show up with more Vigor. I think we're going to go ahead and try that now. I have made sure that she and her boyfriend are unlocked, and I wanted to show you that there's another way to get into the marriage screen, which is right under your lock symbol, right above the reset button. It says marriage, and we will click that. You may have noticed that the genealogy tab was no longer there, and that prompted me to try marrying the same lineage of male Trevane to this girl with no separating marriages. You used to need to separate your marriages. We're going to find out here if you still need to do that. So you can see I have marked his level up just a little bit so that we can see what we're working with. I will get rid of confident. We can see that we're going to get the right character, so we confirm.
Fire is a powerful ally and a deadly enemy.
So that did take me up to Vigor level 3, which I find to be interesting because that's exactly what we got when we married on a mythic companion before. Now to fully test our genealogy marriage separation, just so everybody is super clear on it, I have yet another male Trevane from the same companion that I will be marrying to this Lionstone that we just married to another male Trevane. So we will know 100% that after the patch you can just keep marrying from the same companion. That would be a fantastic change. We really want that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Pure Heart, and we can see that it does not cross out Pure Heart, and I feel like it should. So if I get Pure Heart again and it downgrades, then I think that sucks, and they should not let that happen. Realistically, Pure Heart is fine here. I'm taking a little bit of a risk and a little bit wasting resources just to do this test. So if you do appreciate me spending my resources to get this information for you, then I would appreciate it if you could hit that like button for me so that I know that you appreciate me. Now let's see what we get. Confirming again, looking at my picture, making sure I got that right person. I was able to do the marriage. My Vigor went up to 4 from there. I have one more horrific test to run, and that is simply marrying brother and sister to see if it allows us to do that. I know that nobody likes to hear that, so step 1, we unlock our characters. Step 2, we look at our traits to see what we're trying to replace. Then we're going to find our suitable candidate, select somebody with traits that we are happy with, make sure he is also unlocked. We can hit the marriage button to go straight to, but I'm going to just click on him to switch him to the other one. It's going to tell me she's overseeing a district if she is in one, and that is fine. We can just go ahead and do it anyway. And we will need to remember to put her back in the district after that. So we're going to get rid of Scrappy here. We make sure that we've got our correct character before we confirm. And the marriage went through. So it looks like the genealogies are just gone now, and I think that's actually a really good change. It frees us up to actually use our mythic companions as effectively as we possibly can because we worked so hard to get those. All right, the last bonus tip that I wanted to give you here is having to do with increasing a character's rarity. Now, I've heard a lot of people talking about how this is done through marriage, and that is not the case. So we are actually at our altar for Ascension to increase a character's rarity, and it's very simple to see if you're doing it right. We will select our lower quality person to go into the first slot, so she will be upgraded. I will then select my rare quality person to be food to go into her. So if you're putting the same gender of the same clan into a character, then you can transfer the higher rarity into the character that you have maybe already put a bunch of stars into, for instance, and you don't want to have to level through all of those stars again. But there is a downside to this. I will say make sure that at the top it says upgrade rarity to whatever you're trying to upgrade to. We're going to go ahead and do it here. She started out as green, and now she has become a rare. So the downside here is that the traits that we already had, in this case it was only tenacious, will not level up with your rarity, except for your clan trait. So you can see that my clan trait is level 4, that's great. Tenacious is still only level 1. So if I had cranked this person up to being mythic, for instance, then I would need to replace that with a marriage, and then it would be fine. However, the energetic that came on as an extra for increasing my rarity just happened to get a bad roll and be level 2. It could have been level 4, it just didn't make it there. So you'll keep the traits that you have, and only your clan trait will level up. And then you will gain extra traits going up to whatever rarity that you had put it to. The new traits that you get from that can be all the way up to the max level of their new rarity. So it can be a great way to save yourself materials if you already have a character that's 7 or 8 stars, and then you get a mythic version of them. Well, now you can take what maybe the purple one that you had and then upgrade that to mythic, keeping all of the stars that you already had, and it can save you a lot of materials. So that's how you do that and why you want to do that. I will now be wasting more rings on an alternate account, hoping to get a new hybrid, and we'll see if it actually gives us a hybrid. So we got the trait, and now we'll see if it actually becomes a hybrid. It does! It does! So there you have it. There is a fresh hybrid for you that is brand new, and who knows which other ones are out there? Maybe all of them. I have not seen that confirmed or denied so far, but I can't say that I've seen every post that exists about the game. So if anything that I've said to you today has been insightful or helpful, or you appreciate the work that I'm doing, then I would love to see you subscribe and come back to see me in future videos as we watch the game grow together. That's going to do it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.